Hello and welcome to the Dad and Buried podcast. As always, my name is Mike, aka Dad and Buried, and on the other line is my co-host Pete. What's up, Pete?
What? Oh,
don't do
yeah.
that. Don't do
Yeah. Oh, what? Too late.
Stop it.
Doing it
Stop
now. What?
Mom and Buried will be back next week, everybody. Rest assured.
God damn it. She's so much better than I am.
God. A lot of things, and certain things I hope I never have occasion to find out.
One, bearing children. I haven't cracked the code yet.
Never say never. Haven't you seen Junior with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
However, overbearing children, though, I still got her on that one.
Oh, you have more overbearing children than she has?
No. I'm much more overbearing.
So it's good to see you. I want to ask, are you staying warm? We do have the nor'easter to contend with. Today was the second day of consistent snowfall.
We got absolutely railed.
Yeah, we did get railed.
Yeah, we got. I shoveled my car out for a solid 2 hours.
Gross.
Just heavy, wet, every shovelful was like, how could this possibly?
And it was still snowing while you were shoveling, right?
As if it wasn't insult to injury. I many times looked up into the sky, shaking my fist, going, fuck you. And then someone would open up their window, throw out their urine, and go, fuck you.
Urine? Okay. Well, we do live in New York after all. So
I live in the 5 Points. So
let me ask the 5 Points, the dead rabbits. Let me ask you, were your kids excited for the snow?
Yes.
Even though most of us are doing some version of remote schooling, whether it's remote schooling some of the time, at school some of the time, or just remote schooling all the time. And snow days, as they used to be, pretty much don't exist anymore, right? The New York City school system even said no snow days this year.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, one of your teachers is like, hey, go enjoy the snow because last year has been a never-ending hellscape. So we want to give you a bit of a break. So, but it's not like a snow day where school is totally canceled. Like both my kids still had classes. They had to get online. One of my kids, the 5th grader, still had homework and all that stuff. We squeezed some so-called winter fun in, which we're going to be talking about in a few minutes. But even without the prospect of a snow day, my kids couldn't be more excited about the snow itself.
Well, I made sure everybody understood that there are no more snow days. And I got up real close to them while they're eating breakfast, nose to cheek, and go, no more snow days, son. And that was to my daughters.
So, and you're excited about, that's what.
Well, although my middle kid is on the student council and proposed that yesterday that we have a snow day today, the day that we're recording this, and the principal.
The principal vetoed it.
No. They had half a day today.
Because. So your daughter proposed
I don't know. I don't know if it's directly correlated, but they definitely had half a day today. Period. Full stop.
She is the change we want to see in the world. She's really getting it done.
She honestly has a lot of change, and that's actually what I need for my own monetary benefit. I'm talking.
You still use actual tangible money. You don't have GameStop stock that you're just.
Everywhere I go, I take out a huge sock, and I just start putting coins down. Yeah, I'm the one person. I have that one item, and people are like, oh, you go ahead.
And then I go ahead, 3 hours.
And then I pull the sock out, like the guy from Trading Places with the salmon through his beard, and then I just start counting coins. And people.
One of the many reasons you are just a delight to be around.
God, I'm the best.
So your daughter enacted policy that the school followed through on.
She proposed policy.
Yeah, good for her.
She pushed it through. So,
you know what? She's going to be president of that student council next year.
If only the goddamn right and the left weren't so polarized.
Yeah, even in elementary school. So did you, with being that she had a half day, did you get out in the snow with the fam, or did your wife? You have work.
Please. I shut that down immediately. The second I saw snow, I was like, I'm out there sledding, having fun. I had to explain to my kids that I'm doing this because I'm a grown man that has business to take care of out in the snow, And that's very different from little kids that need to be doing their homework in school.
So you went out there to show up these kids and be
Yeah.
like, I know what I'm doing. Move aside. I got my toboggan.
Yeah.
Which, let me say, when I raised this topic and I asked people, their favorites and least favorite parts of winter fun, a lot of people use the word toboggan. I'm assuming those are my Canadian followers. I know what a toboggan is. It's not a solely Canadian word. It is from like the 19th century. We don't use it so much.
That's the one with the metal skids? Is that seems to me like a toboggan?
I think it's got like the curled up front and it's wood and there's like isn't that a toboggan? Yeah.
Yeah, but the modern version is just like a closed foam cell, like just a piece of mat that you sit on that has ropes.
Everything okay over there? Is
no,
somebody throwing urine?
I'm in grave danger and I need help.
So it's funny. So I hear that. I don't know. That sounded like a fire truck going by. The other day, I went down to shovel out my car, and while I was doing it, an ambulance, because the ambulances often use our street to like get through. It connects to like a made-to expressway, and an ambulance couldn't make the corner. They hadn't plowed our street. The ambulance just going back and forth. I was trying to help shovel out under the tires and stuff to try to get the ambulance through. Eventually, the woman most New York woman of all time. Eventually, she just stopped. She's like, I called my company. She's like, I'm about to hit this car here. I'm stopping. They show up. If they hit the car, that's on them. She just like, luckily there was nobody in the back of the ambulance. But I did my fair share. I shoveled a whole bunch trying to get out under the tires. Somebody came out from a bodega with a piece of cardboard to put under the tire for traction. None of it worked.
Yeah.
None of it worked. But what did work was winter fun, which we did a lot of today and yesterday. You have a little sliver of yard.
Yes.
Did you use that?
We got out, and we it was a merciless snowball. I just want to say like hellscape of just pure sort of 12 months worth of like indoor interrupting.
Pent up rage.
Just absolute, and the snow was perfect. Like you would just scoop it with one hand and just crunch it. And it was the perfect snowball making. It was the greatest snow ever.
So did you go out both days, yesterday and today?
Yes. I did.
So
how about you? What did you do?
So yesterday we went in our backyard and we played around snowball fights and that kind of stuff. And then today we went sledding. We went to the local park and went sledding. And it was a good time. A good time was had by all, which is shocking when you hear the rest of this episode, in which I complain about the winter, and everybody complains because I said, what are your favorite and least favorite parts? And let me tell you, there weren't a lot of favorite parts of of winter family fun with the kids in a snowstorm like this. But it has been a while since, and my mom and Barry is concerned with the state of climate change and all that stuff, that just like snowfall is not going to be a regular occurrence. So she was super excited for it to happen today. She's treating it like Christmas. She was upset with me because I didn't treat it like Christmas. I just treated it like it snowed. But you know what, Pete? We got out there. We mixed it up. We had a little bit of fun. All the hassles that go along with it, they went along. They showed up.
Were you able to take a couple moments to pull Mom and Barry aside and say, look at all this snow. You see what you're talking about? It's all of this snow. Look at it.
Wake up. It's the same thing. Snow. Exactly. The same thing Trump did, where he's like, global warming, it's snowing. What do you mean?
Oh, look at all these fires. It's what are you talking about? Yeah.
So we had fun, but what's funny is I guarantee when we get into this and we start talking about the common complaints about this kind of thing, you and I are going to be very much aligned on what is annoying, because everybody knows the most annoying parts of winter activities with children, and
everyone knows that the only thing that Mike and I agree on are what's annoying during the winter time with our children.
You know, one time I got a fortune cookie, and the fortune said, "Everyone knows that you're the best."
That sounds made up.
No, actually, it was amazing.
Also, no, I didn't know fun facts like that you got a fortune cookie. You didn't
know that?
Somehow.
It was on CNN because it was like, everyone knows Dad and Barry's the best.
Great. All right. Well, we'll get into it right after this.
Right after this. All right, welcome back to the Dad and Buried Show. Tonight we're going to be talking about winter fun or lack thereof. Before we get into that, I want to remind everybody that you can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Overcast. Is that the name of the thing? Anywhere you can get podcasts, please subscribe, rate, like us, tell your friends.
Your local corner store, your bodega, wherever. Just go in, ask them for a podcast. Do not take no for an answer.
Do not
and
put on the Dad and Buried podcast.
Yeah.
Everybody, last week was a laugh riot about parenting with a chronic illness. Actually, my wife has gotten a ton of positive response because at the end of that episode, she was very much like, if you have questions about like parenting with MS or with a chronic illness, or just want to talk solidarity, please reach out. And thankfully they reached out to her and not to me. I think they know I would not know what to do if people were like expecting me to be nice. I'm not that kind of person. But we do want to thank everybody who has subscribed already. Please continue to tell your friends about us. If you want, you can throw us some money on Patreon or Anchor. We really appreciate that. It allows us to keep coming on your airwaves and bitching about kids. But before we start bitching about kids, I do want to bitch about one other thing, and that is dry January, which is over. We are recording this on February 2nd. I have not yet broken dry January yet because I didn't start until January 3rd. So
okay. What would walk me through that?
I wanted why didn't I start in January? Because January 1st, New Year's Eve was
New Year's Eve. Well,
Friday night.
The 31st of December. You could have boozed through the 31st and then just simply gone to bed at 9:30 like we all did.
But then it was Friday or Saturday, and I was like, that's silly. But also, I was sick on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and I was trying to like push through being sick, and I just couldn't do it. And then I felt a little bit better on that Saturday, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to get a little bit in there. Didn't really work out, but I gave it a shot, so I did not count that. I was not totally dry, but I was on that Sunday. As of today, getting through today, I think that's a full 30 days. So tomorrow, I'm just going to wake up. I have a meeting. I'll be like, fuck this meeting. Bloody Marys, kegs and eggs.
Yep, this is such a good story. Let me just get a pencil and piece of paper to memorialize the story somehow.
The important thing is that I have lost some weight, which I'm excited to put back on immediately when I start drinking 5 beers a night.
Yep.
But you said... Now, your tradition is to not do dry January, but the day after the Super Bowl, you go into dry February, March, and then the middle of April, you kick it back into gear.
Yeah, I've been playing. I guess I've been playing around with it for a little while, for a couple of years. And last year had been messing around less with. So I did, thanks to COVID, that extended my dry March. I do March because God. March is the best March to not drink.
I remember when COVID was happening.
Yeah.
Like middle of March, and then in April it's really going. Yeah. You weren't drinking through April. I'm like, how are you not drinking?
Oh, I am so happy I did not do that. It was not the right for my particular situation. It was just not the right move.
It was a powder keg.
It was a powder keg. It was what we call a little bit stressful.
No one says that like that.
Yeah, they do. Sure they do. All the way through June. Well, I mean, it started to loosen, it started to be okay in May, but I just kind of extended it. It was the right move for me last year. This year, though, I'm going to do, so February, March, and into April again with the no drinking. But the thing that really works that I found is less the drinking and more what you're eating.
Eating or not eating. As the case may be.
Yeah. Not eating is a.
Not eating is a key component to not gaining weight. Yes.
Or to lose weight for sure. Yeah.
You said that you have begun fasting and your clothes are dropping off of your body. You are already a flagpole. Is that what it is? A beanpole.
Yeah.
And a flagpole.
Well, that's, half mast. First of all, super, super nice of you to just come right out and just nail me on that point. No, but that's true. It's just it's the fastest way to get rid of that weight, and then you can do whatever you want after that. You can figure out.
So for the rest of the year, how long are you gonna do the fasting thing? Well, as long as you're doing the dry spring or whatever.
I think so. I think I'm constantly kind of playing around with it, just trying to figure it out. So right now I'm doing like every other day or whatever, and we'll see what happens.
See, my problem with that is I've done that before, but unless I'm super strict about it, I'll like, suddenly late at night and like a Saturday or something. I guess no, the key is you're combining it with not drinking, so you're not going to get into the like drunken, binge eating thing that's going to happen. So that's pretty good. I'm a little bit nervous. You look like you're already malnourished, so just be careful.
Yes.
Be careful.
That's why I'm drinking.
So I went out today and I'm all bundled up. And this is one of the things I hate personally, regardless of kids, about, especially like in New York, it'll be like freezing outside and you bundle up in your scarf and your hat and your winter coat. And then you like get on the subway and you're packed like sardines in a can. And you're sweating your ass off. There's 300 people shoulder to shoulder, but you're in like your winter coat and stuff. I hate that.
Have you been on the subway recently?
No, not in a year or whatever, but I'm just saying.
There's 8 people. There's now 8 people.
Nowadays. But in reality, like one of the things I hate about winter is you bundle up for the cold. And then if you go and do any activities like I did today with my kids, you start sweating like crazy. I said this to my 10-year-old as we were walking to go sledding. He wanted to race me. And I said, no, I don't want to get all sweaty. And he laughed at me.
He's like, boy, I've really hit the lottery.
With his dad? Yeah. No, what, Dad, will you play with me? No, son, I don't want to get sweaty.
Yeah, let's have fun. There's like 3 feet of snow. It's perfectly packable. Let's have a good time. No, I don't want to get sweaty. Wow. Cool.
You know what?
Sweet,
I sweat a lot. I sweat profusely. I don't enjoy it.
Here's the best part, dude. You're not going in. No one. The person that has to bear all of the brunt is mom and buried, your lovely wife. When you come home and you're just like, this is it. This happened. I was playing with the kids and now I'm just drenched,
sweating my ass off. Yeah. So here's the thing.
There's no pretense.
Here's the thing. Mom and buried, and a couple of moms when they responded. So I went on Instagram for this topic and I was like, let me know what your like least favorite, most favorite parts of like doing winter activities with your kids are. And a couple of moms were like, I like staying inside when my husband takes the kids and goes and does shit. Mom and buried is the opposite. Like she's excited about the snow herself. She's forcing me to go and do stuff as she is constantly, whether it's snow or winter fun or fall family fun or whatever.
Like Tuesday or Wednesday.
Exactly.
Or work day. Yeah.
For her, the snow was like, she was as excited about the snow as my kids were. And partially because she was excited for my kids. Whereas I'm just kind of more like, who cares? It's just the same old shit. Again, my wife also hit the lottery. Anyway.
Unbelievable. There's so many lottery tickets. It's weird that they've all got the same number.
So yesterday we stayed in our little tiny little backyard, and we had like a snowball fight and stuff. And that's a lot of fun because you get to pelt your kids.
Yes, you really get to. And here's the best part about snowball fights. You just gotta hold back enough where you know that if you hit like an exposed area like the face, like it's you got to make sure that you can't pack it too tight, but it's also all in good fun. And then of course if it gets too serious, that person has to immediately sit themselves out because they're out of the game. And then
it's like dodgeball, yeah.
Yeah, and then that creates just its own internal tension of like, I'm in pain, but I desperately want to be in this, in the, what we call in my household, the shit, which is me just drilling like my kids in different ways. And just like how about hitting a snowbank off a tree and then having that load of snow.
I love that.
Crush. It's just
inventive stuff like that. Your kids are like impressed.
They have no idea what their surroundings are. Of course, I've mapped the whole area out earlier. As I mentioned, I was out earlier mapping the whole area out.
Yes.
And found all the weak spots, and then just made use of it.
So we are kind of stepping on the topic and talking about one of the fun parts about it, which is a snowball fight. But I did ask the question, and one of my favorite responses was Tim M. Sal said, winter fun with kids is an oxymoron. And you're going to get that flavor of response a lot tonight. So many people complain, but the funny thing is almost everybody complains about the same thing. And the number one thing they complain about is getting the kids dressed and ready to go outside. And then there's three facets to it. There's getting them dressed to go outside. They're getting them undressed when they come back inside. And then there's getting them dressed again. So what they do is so Bowers K89 says, I hate when you bundle them up and then you unbundle them up. And would you bundle them down or would you unbundle them up? What do you think?
Unbundle them.
You'd unbundle them up.
Yeah.
She said unbundle up.
Just unbundle them.
Anyway, she says, and you repeat that 7 million times. This is the best. This is the reality. Mrs. Work 38 said it takes 20 minutes to get them dressed. And I would say that's a low estimate. She says, then they play for 5 minutes and then they want to come back inside. That's what happens. So you have several kids. I have 2 kids. So I have a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old. I bring them both out, or they'll be out before me because I'm like finishing up something. And then I'll go out in the backyard with them and we'll play. My 5-year-old will decide he wants to go inside. He goes inside. Me and my 10-year-old keep playing. Me and my 10-year-old are about to wrap it up. My 5-year-old sees that we're still having fun 10 minutes later and then decides he wants to come back out then. So either you have to go in and disappoint him or let him come out and then you're stuck out there even longer. Either way, when you bring the kids in, they take off all their stuff. Mama Bear just like grabbing it and like laying it on the radiators to try to warm it up for a few minutes, or maybe you put it in the dryer or whatever. It's just repeat, and it is so annoying.
Yeah, I think the thing to take away from this is don't worry, because they're already disappointed from the whole sweating incident early from being out in the park and just not. So everyone's just constantly being disappointed just at every turn, which I think is
sweating in the winter under all these winter clothes. It's uncomfortable.
I as I said earlier, I shoveled for about an hour and a half. It was horrible. I'm not gonna lie. I know what you're talking about. But that's it. It can get nasty. Although it wasn't, in the same vein as Dad, will you have fun with me? No, because I don't want to sweat. It was more like I have to shovel 10 pounds of pure concrete off of my car.
Somebody later said that one of their favorite parts was making their kids shovel, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the day.
I had a little bit of that today. I got my middle kid out, and I was like, hey, come on out and like just shovel. And she was running around, and she's like, hey, let me try. 2 shovelers. She's like, what is this? Is this what's happening right now? This thing is like so heavy. And I'm like,
this isn't fun. What's going on? It's not fun.
But to get back to the bundling and unbundling, yeah, absolutely.
Bundling down.
Okay, fine. It is. All right, here's what we need. This is a new concept. Okay, this is a disruptive concept. Houses, they're so plain. We need a full ice changing room. Some people call them mud rooms. I don't. I call them detention facilities for the going in and out of the house, because I've literally let one kid in at a time. This is our policy. So our kids are when
somebody's entering like a penitentiary and they spray them down.
There'll be like a line at the door, at the back door, and I'll be like, you.
Powder thrown on them.
Yeah. I'll be, you come here. No, not you. You go to the back. So they'll try and cut, and one in, stand on the thing, extra like towels and stuff. It's just like one glove at a time, getting in everything in the dry room. Yeah.
But this is to make like the organization and the drying and the cleaning easier. It does not improve or speed up the experience of putting clothes on and taking them off, especially with your younger kids trying to get their hands in and out of mittens and gloves.
Yeah. No, the younger that's true. Unfortunately, I've actually blacked out. Straight up
with rage.
A little bit of rage, a little bit of just like, I'm cool with it, just fully blacking out, like just the fingers. When your kids are young enough, they can't put their fingers in a fire.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's pretty horrible. But now my kids are old enough where they know what that's happening. They did have. I will say the positive is there's a lot of screaming and a lot of yelling, and if you can just get through that hump or over that hump, like that's it. no one's ever going out again, or some, some sort of outrageous threat that doesn't make any sense.
Of course.
And then they start working together, and then 50 minutes later, 2 hours later, who knows? They come back just steaming, just their ball, just they're all wet, but they're just
sweating their asses off.
They've been just running around. Yeah, and they're soaking wet. That's
what you've done is you've united them against a common enemy, yourself. It's
right.
Just brilliant.
It's very easy to do. Yeah.
There's a couple of wrinkles. So we mentioned getting the fingers in the glove. Where like my 5-year-old, he's trying to get his fingers in the glove. I'm like, God damn it! Don't you see that 2 of your fingers are going in one of the holes? Like, how do you not realize this is happening? We switched to mittens. He's 5. He's still on the mittens.
But does he want to Does he want to make snowballs?
Yeah, we have those stupid snowball squeezer things, which actually comes in pretty handy. Yeah. It comes in handy for me because I just make like 30 at once and then just constantly throwing them at them, which is great. And they couldn't hit a freaking fence. So Paul.plsk says not only is keeping track of all your winter gear annoying, which literally like between yesterday and today, or between like 2 separate trips outside today, like my kids lost 3 pairs of gloves. And then he said, there's a wrinkle, is that this is what always happens. It happens in the movie A Christmas Story. It happened to me today. You get their snow pants on, you start getting them all bundled up, and then they're like, I got to go to the bathroom. And you're like, you fucking son of a bitch.
No, there's no way. I've been through too much. I've been through too many Vietnams, quote unquote, for that to happen. It's always bad, but I don't have to get in there and just make something happen.
So,
and then
I do that same thing too. Yeah, you're like, I don't care if you feel like you have to go or not. You are going right now, because once you're in this thing and we're outside, it's over for you. So, full disclosure. So, my 10-year-old recently outgrew his like snow gear, right? And Mom and Barry was procrastinating or slipped her mind to order him like new snow pants, so he doesn't have them. So today, he went out looking like he was from New Jersey. He was sledding in jeans. It was not ideal. I felt really bad for him. He's getting his jeans all wet. He accidentally stepped in a puddle. He's complaining that he's got like ice and snow like in his underwear and all this stuff. At one point, Mom and Barry literally says to him when he's complaining about how it's cold because he has like snow and ice, because we like went to the park and you can't just go home and come back and go home. It's not our big backyard or anything like that, right? We walked like 10, 15 minutes to the park, whatever. You're there for a while until everybody's done, and then we're going home. It's got to be a reasonable amount of time. He's miserable for chunks of it, and at one point he's like, it's cold, there's like ice in my underwear, and I have to go to the bathroom. Mom and Barry just goes, just do it, just pee, it'll keep you warm. It's like Dumb and Dumber. She was joking, he didn't do it, but I was really proud of her. It was a really fun moment for me, because I was currently really uncomfortable with the sweat, as you know. It was not better than urine.
You had your own Fallujah.
Exactly.
Well, I think that is. I know we're. I hate to break the mood and lighten it a little bit, but that was the fun part. That is the fun part of. And by the way, we got the perfect snow, which is wet, damp, perfect, like snowball making weather.
Yeah.
Snow.
Today especially. Yesterday was really powdery, but today was really easy to pack and stuff.
Yeah, and so that was fun. And so the kids, they love it. And actually it's such a, the winter time sucks so much, especially in the Northeast.
It's long.
Well, when bleak. It can get down, when it's in the teens during the day. It's windy and it's like 75 degrees,
And without snow, like snow is like
exactly. Yeah. There's something to do with the snow. With the snow, you can, be sledding or make things out of it. Or whatever.
You can forgive the cold a little bit, yeah, because it adds a little fun wrinkle. One of the other, we talked about the snowball fights. One of the other things I like about the snow, which is what we've been doing a lot in between snowball fights, is you just push your kids down and into the snow with no problem. Constantly shoving my 10-year-old around. They're coming at me. I'm throwing them around. They're hitting the snow. It's great.
This is what I'm saying is, it's just standing upright in a snowball fight, having snowball that are not going to touch you, And if they do,
Oh,
they're
no.
so weak. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Pitiful.
Giving yourself enough time to just fully aim and wind up, and knowing that the sweet, like, low thud that's gonna hit when it hits, when a body shot, of course,
Yeah,
never.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, like my kids were hiding between, like, behind tables and stuff that had like 10 inches of snow on it, and then I would throw the snowball in the 10 inches of
Yeah.
snow, and it would like explode in their back, like down the back. So that's the best.
These are the perks of parenting that we need, inflicting incidental pain and discomfort on our kids.
Oh, but when you come up with a plan and you execute it
You see
flawlessly,
it through, yeah.
it feels good as just as a person, you know?
I love it when a plan comes together.
Exactly. So
by far the main complaints revolved around the dressing and the prep and the gear. A lot of people complained about having to get your kid into a car seat because when your kid is in his puffy winter stuff and you have to try to like loosen the belt in the car seat, it's the absolute worst.
Oh my God! One time I had to go around the back to loosen it.
Oh,
Do you know what I'm talking about?
You had to
Around the
disconnect
back.
it?
Like, like the different, like, the settings of the loops, you know what I mean, in the back.
Absolute worst.
I was like, you know what? Let's just take our chances from now on. Let's put our faith in something bigger than this stupid car seat. You know what I mean?
Let them sit on your lap. Who cares?
Live a little.
Who needs a car seat? So that was by far the biggest complaint, the gear and the prep and the getting dressed and undressed. Another big complaint, mostly from moms, was having to participate in the snow stuff. So underscore Carissa with a K said she hates when it's cold, but they want me to go outside and do things like play and interact. So one of the things that's nice about having siblings is hopefully they can entertain each other. And in my case, like with the snow stuff, especially with like snowballs and that kind of thing, they want dad a little bit more often, at least in my house. Like my kids are really excited when I come out because we're gonna roughhouse a little bit, right? I have 2 boys, and they really love that. I really like this one. KPI McCune, MCCUNE said, I don't give 2 shits about winter activities, and I do them with a clenched jaw because the kids like it. Mr. McCune, that sums up my entire parenting philosophy. Anything that I do, I don't want to do any of this parenting stuff. I do it because I love my kids and I want them to be happy. And a lot of it is winter bullshit. I'm sweating, and we've gone over this several times. I really don't like sweating under my winter clothes, but I'm doing it. I'm clenching my jaw, and I'm doing it for the kids, Pete.
Mike, what if you went full Flanders and just like wore nothing at all? Nothing at all. Just
in the snow?
Yes. Yeah, so just winter jacket and maybe some kind of like loose aerated bottoms that, like, would obviously would protect everyone from being unpleasantly
protect everyone else.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be so much protecting for me.
Yeah, exactly. But then you would be able to have the full comfort of the air just whipping through your, essentially.
You know what? I'll consider it. I'll ask Mom and Buried what she thinks. But that's where I think I'm lucky, is that, she loves to participate in this stuff. So today when we went sledding, she was sledding with the kids. I was sledding with the kids. Okay. Everybody was having a great time except my kid, who was in drenched jeans and had ice in his undies.
Yeah, but you know what? He'll remember that as he'll never wear jeans again.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it was embarrassing for us to be with somebody who was in the snow wearing jeans. So that was our fault. So she _Samantha_ said, my kid wants to go out. She's like, you're going alone. She's like, I'm just not doing it. Allie Fraser 921 says, the cold hurts my face. Why do people like this crap? Now, that reminded me of something that, obviously, you and I, we both went to school in Boston. We're both from the northeastern area. Every once in a while, when it's really, really cold and the wind whips, and this has nothing to do with parenting, this is just something that bothers me. The wind whips and it hits your face and it like pushes your breath back in almost. Like, you lose your breath. Like it's so cold. It's really uncomfortable. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. I do
Yeah.
actually. I remember. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember the winter of 2005 in New York City?
I didn't live here then. I still lived in Boston.
Okay. Well, I gotta find. It was the Hudson froze over. There was a month, February, like the ambient temperature, just the regular temperature was zero. It was just zero
Yikes.
Fahrenheit. I walked from the my apartment at the time to the laundromat, which was less than a block. I was so because I was carrying my laundry bag.
Yeah.
It hit my face. My face was burning so much. I had a panic attack. I didn't know what to do or where to go. If I
forgot where you were.
Oh, no, I didn't know if I should go to the laundromat or turn around and go home. I was like completely I literally was. I was perplexed to your point because I was so cold. That's the only time that's ever happened to me. So whatever you're talking about, outside of that, that was it. So
that's the only thing. So you have no other experience.
I have no other frame of reference other than that very specific one. And I guess what I'm doing is both agreeing and then strangely disagreeing.
So let me ask you this. So that reminds me. So in 2005,
I'm a great orator.
In 2005, I was still living in Boston. I was living with Mom and Barry at the time, and I think we were living in the South End. So this wasn't much of an issue. But before that, I lived in Southie, and one of the big things was shoveling out your car. And if you shoveled out your space, it was like unspoken rule: you don't take somebody else's space that they shoveled out. And if you did, they'll throw paint on your car, like
oh my
all
God,
sorts of crazy
Boston.
shit.
Oh my God, in Boston. Do you know how many? I got a note. So this was a street. I lived on a street. I forget where it was. Like it was in Brighton area. And I lived on a street. Alston, Brighton. They had it was a residential area. Tons of driveways. Everyone had a driveway. Everyone had a driveway. Yeah. So, but there was street parking as well. But I mean, this is Alston, Brighton. This is like major metropolitan area. But everyone had a driveway. I parked. This is summer. No snow. Don't worry about it. There's a spot. I'm in the neighborhood. People are in the drive. It's not my driveway, so I'm gonna park on the street. I got a note. Hey, fuckhead. Literally. Hey, fuckhead. This is my spot. What you just like the most Boston? Sorry, I didn't do it justice. Hey, fuckhead.
You didn't do justice then either.
You have to be able to. Your tongue has to be twice the size of your mouth in order to.
Like Yaphet Kotto.
Hey, fuckhead. Yeah. It was the best. It was just like a ripped piece of.
Did he punch you in the face? Did you get your face beat in?
No, it was a note.
It was a note.
Yeah, someone had.
Why are you doing a vocal impression of a handwritten note?
Because I mean,
how do you even know what the guy sounded like?
Because everybody sounds a fucking saying.
Well, you lived there. You don't sound like that. Maybe it was someone like you whose parents raised them in England, and it was a real dainty motherfucker.
Oh, really? It was like, dear sir, your car is currently in my.
But did he write fuckhead on the note?
Dear fuck.
Oh, that is great.
Yeah, it was. It was such a Boston experience.
Anyway, so people would leave they would leave chairs, like desk chairs, kitchen chairs, cones if they had them to protect their space. Mom and Barry said that she saw some people doing that here on our street today. That's no bueno.
Did you
here in Brooklyn? No, well, tomorrow I have to drive my kid to school. And I got lucky because I parked in an area that's not where the snowplow pushes the snow. It's on the other side. Made sure to do that.
Smart.
It's key. Made sure I learned that years ago when I had a wall of snow. You have to dig so much. I almost had a heart attack. And I got lucky where I was, and there's like a kind of a big building, so there's not a big drift or anything on me. But the problem is, I'm gonna move my car out to bring my kid. When I get back, that spot will be gone, and I'll have nowhere to park. So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet.
Just tell your kid school's that way. Go about 5 blocks.
Yeah. Good luck.
Take a left or a right. I can't remember, and you should be fine.
All right. So. Speaking of, like, so I told you I learned not to park, and my wife we remind each other all the time, try to park on the side where the snowplow doesn't push, because we're on a one-way street.
AKA the left.
Exactly. But you do, if I did that once, I parked on the wrong side once, and the shoveling, like Like I've had no physical exercise in like a year because of the pandemic, and every time I do anything, I'm in pain. Today or yesterday, I shoveled. Today I went sledding, and that involved like also like letting my kids sit in the sled and like drag them around and stuff. I can already feel it in my arms. Tomorrow I'm gonna have to do shoveling. Like I'm older now. My
honestly,
back
Mike,
is always
just
killing
be
me.
careful. You look so ripped. You're gonna get so diesel.
My mom told me to be careful, not for that reason, but because she's concerned I might have a heart attack. Hey, I'm in my 40s. It's not out of the question. B_Stern__O said his lower back is killing him. I thought he was talking about because of shoveling, but no, it was because what I just mentioned, where his kids want to ice skate, which in their family means they sit in a sled and he drags them around on ice, which sounds dangerous. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know where he lives. I just do that on like a snowy patch.
But do you mean real ice skating or just?
No, he's using the term ice skate, which means something specific, and saying his kids use that term to refer to when he tugs them around on a sled.
Yeah, because let's get real. If you have like a 65-pound kid who doesn't know how to ice skate,
yeah,
it's like, you know what, dude, just let this is not the sport for you.
No, for sure.
Walk away. In fact, get yours. Don't. I'm not going to pay.
Well, the last time we went ice skating,
because I'm hunched over, holding your elbows, and you're not even trying. You're not even trying. Look at your legs. They're not even going the right direction. For fuck's sake.
We went ice skating $8 right before the pandemic, and my 4-year-old, he had just turned 4. He could barely even walk, let alone ice skate. My 10-year-old. Super tentative, but he did okay. And then Mom and Barry fell down and like broke her elbow or something. So I don't think we'll be doing that. This was a year ago. She's fine. She can't go. she can't get it looked at because there's a plague. But she'll be fine. She might have to get it rebroken because it healed incorrectly. But she's okay.
Okay, good.
Nobody's worried about that. So I would be remiss if I didn't say that some people did say some of things that they like. And you and I have already spoken a lot about, having the freedom to smash your kids in the face with snowballs and to push them into the snow. And even sledding. Sledding is fun a little bit, although having to walk back up the hill with the sled is annoying. I'm not a big fan of that.
You know what, Mike? You just honestly just give it a couple seconds and we'll find something to be annoying. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, of course. I never run out of things.
You're putting too much pressure on yourself to all this like awesome talk about having fun in the snow. Just give it a couple minutes, man. You'll find
So a couple of these the people's favorite things were when their spouse goes out and does the snow stuff instead of them, and they get to stay inside with like hot chocolate or the fireplace or whatever, which that's just rude. Pat Loves Flowers, who's an older woman, I think a grandma who follows me and messages me on Instagram a fair amount. She says she loves how well her kids sleep after they've been outside in the snow. I think it definitely tires them out. But my 10-year-old, nothing makes him sleep. He'll be up at like 10 o'clock being like, what's going on? Buddy. I mean, the whole reason we went sledding today was so that you would fall asleep by 8, and it didn't work. The 5-year-old falls asleep like, he'll be yawning at 5 o'clock after you do anything. The 10-year-old, he powers through. So that doesn't quite work for me.
Maybe he's still got ice in his shorts. You ever think about that?
No, I don't think about that. That's his problem.
Huh. Is it?
How do you like that?
He's turned those. Yeah, well, there we go.
So Kyla_163, she's the woman I mentioned earlier who says that her favorite part was making her kids shovel. More power to her.
Good. That's always good. And you know what? That's the one thing that kids can do. It just doesn't matter how bad they are at it because any little part will help.
It's helpful, yeah.
And any amount of effort exerted is a coin in the bank for you. For like sleep, from a sleep perspective.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. It never seems to work out with my 10-year-old, but maybe I just need to work him harder.
Yeah, I think so. It doesn't sound like he's working very hard.
We gotta have him shovel the backyard, even though it's just grass. We don't need him to shovel it, but maybe we just gotta work in your technique.
You know what? Have him mow the backyard during the session. Really mix.
We have one of those push mowers. It's not even motorized. You just really gotta get your back into it.
Dude, you're already a sensei. You're way ahead of me. You're nailing it.
So WSIDOR agrees with us, says that getting the children dressed should be an Olympic sport, which I agree with. And he said, but throwing snowballs at them makes it all okay. I really think we can't stress enough when those things come together, when your kids are having fun and you're getting your aggression towards your kids out with no harm, no foul, it's perfect. They don't know how seriously you really want to hit them with snowballs and how therapeutic it is for you. They just think you're playing with them and you're bonding. It's perfect.
Apex. It's the absolute apex. And just the best is that it's really not going to do a lot of damage. You're not, unless it's like a big fluff ball, you're not going for any sort of skin or anything like that. But man, when you just like, when there's nothing better than a child who's running away from you, just square in the back, just right, that hollow sound followed by them falling over. That's a parenting dream.
It really is.
Parenting dream. And then they get up and they're laughing and having a good time.
You know what, Pete? You make me want to go wake my kids just so I can put them in the backyard and throw some snowballs at them.
We're in the best parts, buddy. We're in the best parts.
Pigeletto, Pigeletto, says her favorite part is the magic of their little faces for a split second before they're fucking soaking wet and freezing and complaining, which is sort of how it goes. I mean, look, you're lucky if you get a few hours of fun, because once they hit that wall where they're either too tired and you have to walk back home or lug the sled, or they're too cold, or they've got ice in their shorts, or they're sweating inside their winter clothes, then it's over. Like, it turns pretty quickly.
It does.
Especially because this stuff definitely wears them out. But I will say one of the perks as well is when you do get home and everybody like drives off and gets in their comfy cozies, and maybe it's movie night and you have some hot chalkies.
Yes. Yeah. It's good. And it's a nice segue. Me in bath time, it's just like a nice lead in. Doesn't matter if it's 2:30 in the afternoon. How about taking a little bath?
Have a bath for 3 hours.
Yeah, and then just like put PJs right under dinner at 4:20.
Exactly. I tried to get my kid, who was soaking wet from his jeans and the ice in his shorts, to take a shower when we got home. The 10-year-old wouldn't do it. I'm like, buddy, like, this is the prime time to take a shower. Showers are great. He doesn't like to shower. It's like my favorite part of my day.
Like mergers and acquisitions has a little competition in terms of.
She doesn't like to shower either?
No, she does, but just like in terms of like just be soaking wet from the snow.
Oh yeah,
I'm not into that right now. Like,
even though that makes complete sense, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to prove to you how much I'm not going to do it.
Exactly.
Very, very frustrating.
But I will say just because we were out, or the kids were out just for a long time, getting them, when the screaming happens, they're fighting. Oh, she put snow on my face. He put this. Yeah. And you get it. Okay, it's all over. Quiets them down, and then they start like working together, and then there's like all these, like, you go back out and there's like all these tunnels everywhere, or there's like all sorts of like building happening. You look at them, they're both completely sopping wet, like just completely drenched, steaming. And you're like, does anyone want to come inside? No, can we have like 40 more minutes? You're like,
yep.
Yes.
Can you?
You can.
Please, yes. Forever. I wish I got to convince my kids to like try to build like an igloo, which they always kind of want to do. And then you start, and like 5 minutes in, you realize this isn't happening. You got to keep encouraging them. Come on.
Now look, you got to start small. Start with a ramp. Get one of those toboggans, or like the little slidey like foam things.
Yeah.
And just do the ramp thing. Just get a ramp. All right, who can build the best jump? Just like boom, there's like 40 minutes.
Yeah, we've even.
And I'll be the judge.
Snowman. Do your kids build snowmen?
I did yesterday. I was the only one to build a snowman while my kids were putting snow down my pants, because I was bent over. And they're just like.
Oh my god! Yeah. I would get furious if they did that to me.
It's okay.
Were you wearing jeans?
No, I actually desperately needed it medically. So,
yeah. Your erection lasted more than 4 hours, so you needed some snow down your pants.
Yeah, actually, you went a different direction, but I'll accept it, because it was.
Well, hopefully you went a different direction once the snow got down there.
That is true.
Get it? You just went from midnight to 6.
Wait, you really you turned it. I usually go dark, but that went pretty.
It went blue.
It
It went a little blue. So rumor has it that another storm is coming this weekend. Did you hear that?
I did.
Your wife is a little weather buff, a little amateur weather lady. Is she aware of a potential storm on Sunday, a new one?
Yeah, she's aware. She's probably salting the skies as we speak. Yeah, no, she's very good at predicting.
I will say,
others coming in.
Despite all the fun that we've had and the fun that we've been talking about, the second or third time it snows, I'm gonna pretty much be completely over it. You guys, you're on your own.
Well, it also depends how much it snowed. Like,
yes.
What we got was a once in a lifetime, not a once in a lifetime. It was a big time storm, right? It was a big time
storm, yeah.
2.5 feet. Not just that, it was crazy outside. Like it looked like I was about to cut my tauntaun open and sleep inside.
Yeah. Look at you, a little Star Wars reference. I like it.
It was a blizzard outside, and that was interesting. But what we need the warm rain. Let's wash all the shit away. Here's what I understand. New York City, if you're a dog owner, what the fuck are you doing? Why can't you pick up
the frozen poop?
I need you to hear me on this. Pick up your dog's fucking dog shit. Like, what the fuck? What is wrong with people? It's so weird.
People who don't like to clean up their dog poop?
In snow. Specifically in snow. Like, what happens? It's just like...
Do you think that there are people...
The whole year, everyone's like, okay, I'm going to pick it up. I'm picking it. I am picking it up. Everything's picked up. The minute it snows, you know what? Don't worry about it.
So you don't think it's people that just never pick up their dog poop and just also continue to not do that during the snow? You think it's people who normally pick up their dog poop?
Absolutely. It cannot possibly, because it's an impossible amount of dog shit. That
should be the name of this episode, an impossible amount of dog shit.
Volume 92.
Unbelievable. Well, on that note, the clean up, pick up your dog shit note. I think that we can wrap this up, because honestly,
did we really cut? We've once again authoritatively discussed all.
We've nailed it all.
We do the best job.
Can I say that I am surprised at, aside from the frequent interludes in which I complained about being sweaty, it was a surprisingly positive episode. We talked a lot about the things we like about snow stuff with the kids.
I gotta be honest with you. I feel a little pit in my stomach of just, I don't know what it is. It feels like
something
a little bit like
right.
It's either happiness or heartburn. It's hard to tell. I can't quite figure it out.
I know what you mean, and I apologize for bringing the positive tip on the Dad and Buried on the positive tip this week. Who knew?
Nobody knew. What? And just before we go, what does your sweatshirt say? Just real quick.
It says Ovila. It's a Sierra Nevada. I went to Sierra Nevada Brewery in North Carolina.
Cool. Yep. Okay, got it.
How dare you? It's my favorite hoodie. You
cool.
Jerk.
Oh God, another beer sweatshirt.
It's the only one. What are you talking about?
You have a Corona one. You have I wish you were her. You have
Delirium Tremens. I have. Yeah. I wish I had one of those.
That would be good.
I could use a Lagunitas one. If anybody's listening, send me some your brewery hoodies. That's what I want. I like this. I'm gonna go tell my wife for Valentine's Day. I want some brewery hoodies.
If anyone's listening, Mayday podcast going down.
Well,
if some brew merch.
If they were listening, hopefully they were on Apple or Spotify, and they are subscribing and telling their friends and giving us a star rating and checking out our previous 90 episodes or 91. Is this 92?
92, son.
Unbelievable. What are we doing for the 100th?
Oh, my God. Probably going to bed early, I imagine.
So that'll be in about 2 months. It will be March.
It won't.
Or April. And you still won't be drinking, so we won't be doing anything to celebrate because you're a loser.
Just a stupid, stupid loser. Well, thanks everybody.
Thanks for listening.
Glad we got to the bottom of that, and we love you. Thank you for listening.
Stay warm out there.
And we'll talk to you later. We'll see you.
Peace out.
I don't know why you would still be watching this isn't a Marvel movie, no matter how much I look like Paul Rudd, which you can deny it all you want. It's there in the eyes, I think. I'm young looking like him. If you enjoyed the podcast, which you obviously did or you wouldn't be listening still, sign up on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you want to listen to. Comment here on YouTube, subscribe, hit that like button. We want to hear from you. Comments, questions, dirty jokes, money, all the money you can give us. We'd love it all. Catch you next time.